The small quarters aboard the Warship Horizon felt even smaller when Olivia Porter discovered she would be sharing them with an alien. The human engineer froze in the doorway, her toolbox clutched against her chest as she stared at the tall figure, arranging personal items on the opposite bunk. The alien woman turned her large almond-shaped eyes gleaming with an inner light that shifted from purple to blue. Her skin was pale with a faint silvery sheen, smooth like polished marble, yet clearly alive. 3 delicate ridges ran from her forehead back across her hairless scalp, ending in small decorative metal caps. Kayla from engineering. Sent me up here, said. We're roommates now. Olivia managed setting down her toolbox with a heavy thud. Had spent the last 2 years aboard the Horizon in peaceful solitude, fixing whatever broke and keeping to herself. She didn't like change, especially not 7 light years from Earth. I am Nalira of House Vashtari. The alien said, her voice melodic. With an unusual resonance that seemed to vibrate in Olivia's chest, I serve as diplomatic liaison between your alliance and the Vashtari Collective. She gave a formal bow, her long fingers splayed across her chest in what must have been a cultural gesture. The human alliance had only encountered the Vashtari 6 months ago, and information was still limited. Olivia knew they possessed technology centuries beyond human development, especially in weapons systems, which explained why a diplomatic liaison was now aboard a human warship. Nice to meet you. Olivia mumbled. I fix things when they break. Her quarters had been her sanctuary now. Half the space belonged to an alien whose species was rumored to be telepathic. Nellera tilted her head curiously. I was told humans value personal territory. I apologize for the intrusion, but Admiral Bell insisted shared quarters would promote cultural understanding. Olivia snorted. It will promote something all right. She began unpacking her few belongings, wondering how she would sleep with those glowing eyes across the room. Over the following days, a cautious routine developed. Olivia worked her engineering shifts while Nalira attended diplomatic meetings. When they crossed paths in their quarters, conversation remained minimal. But Civil Olivia noticed strange objects appearing in their shared space, items of unknown purpose made from materials she couldn't identify. One looked like a crystal sphere, but when touched, it emitted soft harmonic tones. Another resembled a small plant, but it moved slightly when no one was watching it directly. What is this thing? Olivia finally asked, pointing to what looked like a metallic cube that occasionally changed shape when she wasn't looking directly at it. A memory, Keeper Nalira explained. It stores emotional impressions from significant events. The Vashtari believe emotions are as important to preserve as facts. That seems impractical. Olivia said, though she was secretly fascinated. Nalira made a sound that might have been a laugh. Your species values efficiency above experience. We find your obsession with measurable outcomes equally strange. The ship entered an asteroid field that evening, requiring delicate navigation. All non-essential personnel were ordered. To remain in quarters, Olivia sat on her bunk watching as Nalira meditated, floating several inches above her bed surrounded by a faint luminescence. How are you doing that? Olivia asked, unable to contain her curiosity any longer. Bioelectric field. Manipulation, Nalira replied without opening her eyes. A simple technique taught to Vashtari children. It helps maintain muscle tone during space travel. Can all Vashtari do that? Olivia leaned forward, studying the phenomenon with an engineer's interest. Most. Can, though some have greater aptitude. Nellera opened her eyes, their color now a calm green. Would you like to learn me? Olivia blinked, surprised at the offer. Humans don't have bioelectric fields like yours. Not as developed, perhaps, but all living things generate energy. Nellera gestured to the space beside her on the meditation mat. Will you join me? Feeling awkward but curious, Olivia sat cross-legged on the mat, mimicking Nellera's posture. Close your eyes, Nellera instructed. Now imagine the energy in your body as light flowing through your veins, through your muscles, gathering at your core. Olivia tried to follow the instructions, feeling slightly foolish until a strange tingling sensation began in her fingertips, spreading up her arms. I feel something, she whispered. Nellera made a sound of approval. Now direct that energy downward against the pull of gravity. For a brief moment, Olivia felt lighter somehow, as if gravity had decreased around her. Then the sensation vanished, and she opened her eyes. With a gasp, I almost had it, she said, excitement replacing her usual reserve. For a first attempt, that was remarkable. Nellera observed her eyes, now shimmering with gold flecks. Few humans have shown such sensitivity. The ship suddenly lurched, throwing. Both of them forward alarm klaxons began blaring throughout the vessel. What was that? Olivia scrambled to her feet, reaching for her communicator pirates. Nellera said, her expression grim. The Vashtari Collective has been tracking a group operating in this sector. She reached beneath her bunk, pulling out what looked like a ceremonial staff. Though Olivia suspected it was a weapon. You brought weapons aboard? Olivia gasped. Not weapons, Nellera corrected, defensive technology. Her fingers traced patterns along the staff's surface, causing it to hum with energy. Your captain was informed of my security protocols. Another impact rocked the ship. Emergency lights activated, bathing the room in red. Olivia's communicator crackled with orders for all engineering personnel to report to their stations. I have to go, she said, already grabbing her toolkit. Nellera nodded. I will accompany you. These raiders use technology stolen from the Vashtari. You may need my expertise. Together, they rushed into the corridor, which was filling with crew members running to battle stations. The ship shuddered again as another impact struck the hull. Olivia glanced at the alien beside her, realizing that whatever happened next, they would face it together. The engineering deck was chaos when they arrived. Chief Engineer Martinez was shouting orders as technicians struggled to maintain shield integrity. Olivia immediately joined a team working to reroute power from non-essential systems. The pirates are using resonance disruptors, Martinez explained when he spotted Nellera. They're targeting our shield frequency. I suspected as much. Nellera approached the main console. Martinez hesitated, then stepped aside. The alien placed her hands on the console, her fingers moving in complex patterns across the controls. The interface responded to her touch displays, shifting to show information Olivia had never seen before. They are using a modified Vashtari phase inverter, Nellera explained. I can create a counter signal, but I need direct access to the shield generators. That's in Section 7, Olivia said. It's depressurized from the attack. Then I require an environmental suit. Nellera stated, you can't go alone. Olivia said, thinking quickly. I'll guide you through it. As they prepared to face the unknown threat, Olivia realized how quickly she had come to trust this alien, who just days ago had been a strange intruder in her space. Perhaps Admiral Bell had been right about shared quarters promoting understanding. After all, suited up and ready, Olivia and Nellera made their way through the damaged corridors of the horizon. The environmental suits looked almost comical on Nellera's slender frame, but the alien moved with surprising grace despite the bulky equipment. The shield generator room was at the far end of the ship, separated from the main engineering section by 3 security doors. Each door required authorization, but Chief Martinez had granted them emergency access. The depressurization in Section 7 was caused by a direct hit, Olivia explained as they approached the final door. The outer hull is intact, but the inner wall was breached. Nellera nodded, her eyes visible through the helmet. Visor had shifted to a deep-focused indigo. We must hurry. The pirates will attempt to board soon. They seek Vashtari technology. Olivia activated the airlock sequence as emergency protocols kicked in. The system warned of 0 atmosphere beyond the door. Stay close to me, she instructed. We have 30 minutes of air, then we need to get out. The door slid open, revealing a scene of destruction. The shield generator room was dark, lit only by emergency lighting and the occasional spark from damaged equipment. The far wall showed signs of an explosion, with twisted metal and floating debris. Weightlessness took over as they entered the depressurized section. Olivia activated her magnetic boots to stay anchored to the floor, but noticed Nellera simply adjusted her posture, allowing herself to float with controlled movements. The generator is still online, Olivia observed, checking the diagnostic panel, but it's running on backup power. The main connections were severed in the attack. Nalira floated toward the central generator, a massive cylinder filled with swirling energy. She studied it carefully, then turned to Olivia. This technology is primitive but effective. The pirates are using a harmonic disruptor to match and cancel your shield frequency. I can reconfigure it to create a random pattern. They cannot predict. Olivia watched as Nalira removed several tools from her suit pockets. Tools, unlike any she had seen before. The alien worked with incredible precision, her long fingers manipulating components with delicate accuracy. Can you replace that coupling? Nalira asked, pointing to a damaged section near the top of the generator. I need to access the control matrix. Working together in the zero-gravity environment proved challenging, but Olivia's engineering skills complemented Nalira's technological knowledge. As they repaired the damaged systems, Olivia found herself impressed by the aliens' understanding of human technology. You know a lot about our systems, she commented. I studied your technological development before coming aboard, Nalira replied without looking up from her work. Your species achieves remarkable results with limited resources. The Vashtari could learn from human ingenuity. That sounded almost like a compliment. Olivia smiled behind her helmet visor. Nalira paused. The Vashtari do not offer empty praise, Engineer Porter. I speak only truth. A sudden impact rocked the ship, throwing Olivia off balance. Her magnetic boot connection failed, and she began drifting toward the breached wall where only a temporary force field separated them from the vacuum of space. Nalira reacted instantly, pushing off from the generator and intercepting Olivia's drift. Her long arms wrapped around the human, pulling her back toward the center of the room. Thanks, Olivia gasped, her heart racing. That was close. The pirates are attempting to disable the emergency fields, Nalira said urgently. We must complete our work. They returned to the generator with renewed focus. Nalira connected one of her devices to the control panel, causing the displays to flicker with symbols Olivia didn't recognize. What are you doing? Olivia asked. Introducing a Vashtari algorithm to your shield system, Nalira explained. It will create an adaptive pattern based on quantum fluctuations. The pirates will be unable to predict it. That sounds like technology sharing. Olivia raised an eyebrow. Admiral Bell will have questions. The alternative is allowing the horizon to be captured. Nalira replied, I have authorization from the Vashtari Collective for emergency measures. Another impact shook the room, this time accompanied by the sound of tearing metal. The temporary force field at the breach flickered dangerously. We need to stabilize that field, Olivia said. Checking her oxygen level. 20 minutes of air left. Nalira finished her work on the generator. The shields will reconfigure in approximately 2 minutes. We must hold until then. Working quickly, they moved to the breached wall. Olivia using her engineering tools to strengthen the emergency field projectors while Nalira monitored the fluctuations. The space beyond the breach revealed the vastness of space, and in the distance a sleek predatory vessel. The pirate ship, it's beautiful in a terrifying way. Olivia muttered. The Vashtari believe beauty and danger often coexist, Nalira commented. Her device beeped softly. The shield reconfiguration is complete. The pirates' disruptors should now be ineffective, as if in response the ship's intercom crackled to life, even reaching their sealed suits. Pirates, attempting to board in Section 4. All personnel prepare for possible intruders. We need to get back, Olivia said. Turning toward the airlock, the pirates will seek me. Nalira stated, her voice calm. Vashtari technology is valuable. I am more valuable. They will have detection equipment to locate Vashtari biosignatures. You're saying you're their target? Olivia realized. Why didn't you mention this before? It was not relevant to our task. Nalira replied, I must return to our quarters. There is something. I need their return journey through the ship was tense. Emergency bulkheads had sealed off several sections, forcing them to take alternative routes. Back in their quarters, Nalira quickly removed her environmental suit and retrieved a small device from a hidden compartment in her belongings. What is that? Olivia asked, removing her own helmet, a personal shield generator. Nalira explained, activating the device. A shimmer of energy briefly surrounded her body. It will protect me if necessary. But I cannot extend it to cover you as well. Olivia checked her toolkit. I can handle myself. She selected a heavy wrench and a laser cutter, converted to its highest setting. Not exactly weapons, but they would have to do. The ship rocked again, followed by the sound of distant weapons fire. The pirates had boarded. Olivia realized with a chill. We should join the defense teams. Olivia suggested. That would be unwise. Nellara shook her head. The pirates will move toward the command center and engineering. We should avoid both. You want to hide. Olivia frowned. I want to survive, Nellara corrected, and ensure you survive as well. The Vashtari value life above pride. Engineer Porter, a sudden explosion in the corridor outside their quarters ended the debate. The door panel sparked as someone attempted to override the lock. They found us, Olivia whispered, backing away from the door. How? They likely detected my biosignature. Nellara positioned herself behind Olivia. One moment. The alien woman closed her eyes. In concentration, the metal caps on her head ridges began to glow with soft blue light. Olivia felt a strange sensation like static electricity raising the hair on her arms. What are you doing? She asked. Calling for assistance, Nellara replied. All Vashtari, ships monitor emergency frequencies. The door lock failed with a spark, and the panel slid open, revealing 3 figures in dark armor. Their faceplates were opaque, hiding their features, but their weapons were immediately obvious. Large rifles aimed directly at the room's occupants, Vashtari female. One of them growled, the voice distorted through the helmet. Come quietly, and your human friend lives. Olivia gripped her improvised weapons tighter, feeling woefully outmatched, but unwilling to surrender. Without a fight, I am Nellara of House Vashtari, the alien announced formally. I invoke the right of challenge under the ancient codes. The pirates hesitated, looking at each other in apparent confusion. What are you doing? Olivia whispered. Buying time. Nellara replied softly. The horizon defenses are adapting. The shield modifications will soon affect internal systems as well. The lead pirate stepped forward. You have no standing to invoke the codes, traitor. Your technology belongs to those strong enough to take it. That is not the Vashtari way. Nellara stated, her voice carrying that strange resonance that Olivia had noticed when they first met. The technology you steal, you cannot truly understand. Without warning, the lights in the corridor flickered, then surged with brilliant intensity. The pirates' weapons sparked in their hands, forcing them to drop them. Nellara grabbed Olivia's arm, pulling her toward the emergency access panel in the wall. Now, she said urgently, my modifications are affecting all energy systems. The effect is temporary, understanding immediately. Olivia helped Nellara pry open the access panel, revealing the maintenance tunnel beyond. They squeezed inside just as the pirates recovered their weapons. Laser fire scorched the wall where they had been standing moments before. The maintenance tunnel was cramped even for Olivia. For Nellara, with her taller frame, it was painfully restrictive. They crawled through the narrow space, guided by Olivia's knowledge of the ship's layout and Nelara's ability to sense energy signatures ahead of them. Where are we going? Olivia whispered as they paused at a junction, auxiliary control. Nellara replied, if the bridge is compromised, it will be our best option to help defend the ship. How did they find us so quickly? Olivia asked, suspicious. You said they detected your biosignature, but they came straight to our quarters. Nellara was silent for a moment. I believe someone on the horizon may have revealed my location. A traitor. Olivia frowned. The thought made her sick. Who would betray their own ship? The pirates offer valuable technology in exchange for information, Nellara explained. It has happened before. Our races are not so different in their susceptibility to temptation. They continued through the tunnels, occasionally hearing the sounds of fighting above them. The Horizon's crew was defending their ship, but the outcome remained uncertain. Olivia led them to a section beneath auxiliary control, then paused, listening carefully. I can't hear anything, she said. Maybe the pirates haven't reached this area. Yet Nellara closed her eyes, concentrating. I sensed 3 humans inside. All alive. Their energy patterns seem normal. Can you tell if they're friendlies? Olivia asked. Impressed. Despite herself, I cannot read minds. Engineer Porter, Nalira reminded her. But their emotional states do not suggest distress or aggression. They appear focused on their tasks. Good enough for me. Olivia decided, pushing open the access hatch. The 3 crew members inside auxiliary control spun around, weapons raised when Olivia emerged from the floor. A young lieutenant named Maya lowered her pistol first, recognizing the engineer Porter. What are you doing in the tunnels? She demanded, then stiffened when Nalira emerged behind Olivia. It's okay, Olivia said quickly. She's with me. We modified the shield generators to counter the pirates' weapons. Lieutenant Maya didn't look convinced but nodded sharply. We lost contact with the bridge 15 minutes ago. The captain ordered us to lock down auxiliary, control, and prepare to retake the ship if necessary. What is our status? Nalira asked, moving to one of the control panels. Maya exchanged glances with her companions, clearly reluctant to share information with the alien. Olivia stepped forward, placing herself between them. I vouch for her, she said firmly. She helped save the ship when the shields were failing. She could have escaped in a pod, but she's still here. After a moment's hesitation, Maya nodded. The pirates have control of the bridge and engineering. They disabled our main weapons, but the shields are holding. They can't take the ship out of the system, thanks to Nelaris modifications. Olivia pointed out. The lieutenant seemed to reconsider her assessment of the Vashtari woman. My apologies for the suspicion. We're on edge. According to internal sensors, they have at least 20 boarders, but they're having trouble accessing key systems. That is because of the adaptive algorithm I implemented. Nalira explained, approaching the security console. It creates random fluctuations in all power systems, making it difficult for unfamiliar users to maintain control. Can you help us retake the ship? Maya asked. Nalira nodded. I can do more than that. She turned to Olivia. I need access to the environmental controls. Olivia moved to another console, entering her engineering override codes. The environmental system display appeared, showing air quality, temperature, and pressure throughout the vessel. The pirates' helmets will filter standard contaminants, Nalira said, but they will not protect against this. She removed a small vial from a hidden pocket in her uniform. What you would call a sleep agent. It is harmless to humans and Vashtari, but will render the pirates unconscious if introduced through the ventilation system. That's convenient, Olivia remarked, eyeing the vial suspiciously. You just happen to carry alien knockout gas. I am a diplomatic liaison engineer, Porter, Nalira replied, her eyes shifting to a color Olivia hadn't seen before, a deep red with gold flecks. My role includes security preparations. Maya stepped forward. You'll take that solution. It needs command authorization to introduce foreign substances into life support. Nalira handed over the vial. I will assist in recalibrating the ventilation system to distribute it effectively. While they worked, Olivia monitored ship systems, noticing something odd on the sensors. External scans showed another vessel approaching, but it wasn't registering on the standard detection grid. There's something out there, she called out. But the sensors can't identify it. Nalira looked up briefly. The assistance I called for has arrived. What assistance? Olivia demanded. Maya drew her weapon again, pointing it at Nalira. A Vashtari ship. You called a Vashtari ship into Alliance space without authorization. The treaty allows for emergency intervention, Nalira stated calmly, continuing her work on the environmental controls. The horizon is under attack. Your captain is likely incapacitated. My people are offering assistance. Maya kept her weapon trained on the alien, but lowered it slightly after considering their situation. We're not exactly in a position to refuse help, she admitted. She activated the communication system to hail the approaching vessel. Response came immediately, displayed on the main screen. A Vashtari face appeared similar to Nalira, but with more pronounced ridges and decorations. This is Commander Thalira of the Vashtari vessel. Starsong. We received a diplomatic distress call and are prepared to assist. Maya identified herself, explaining their situation. The Vashtari commander listened, then turned her attention to Nalira, speaking in their native language. The exchange was brief but seemed heated. They will assist us, Nalira explained afterward. The Starsong has disabled the pirate vessel. They will send boarding teams to help reclaim the horizon. How convenient, Olivia muttered, feeling increasingly suspicious about the entire situation. Before anyone could respond, the environmental system activated. Nalira's solution was being distributed throughout the ship. The auxiliary control room was protected by separate filtration, but the rest of the vessel would soon be affected. Sensors show the pirates are collapsing. One of the technicians reported life signs stable, but an active Maya organized security teams to retake the ship, coordinating with the approaching Vashtari vessel. Olivia found herself watching Nalira, carefully noticing how the alien seemed unsurprised. By the entire sequence of events, you planned this, didn't you? She said quietly while the others were distracted. You knew the pirates would attack. Nalira met her gaze. I did not plan the attack, Engineer Porter, but I was aware of the possibility. The pirates have been tracking Vashtari technology for months. My presence on the horizon made it a likely target. You used us as bait. Olivia accused, anger rising in her chest. Not bait, Nalira corrected. An opportunity. The Alliance wanted proof of pirate activities in this sector. The Vashtari Collective needed to identify the source of technology theft. We achieved both objectives. You risked the entire crew. Olivia hissed. I calculated the risk as acceptable, Nalira replied. Her expression softened. Slightly. You humans value individual life but sometimes fail to consider larger patterns. The pirate threat would have grown. Had they obtained more Vashtari technology, many more lives would have been lost. The auxiliary control doors opened as security. Teams reported the ship was secure. Vashtari soldiers in sleek armor entered the room, acknowledging Nalira with formal gestures. Commander Thalira herself appeared moments later, her presence commanding immediate attention. The pirates have been contained, she announced. 23 captives. No casualties on either side. Their vessel has been seized. Considerable stolen technology was recovered. Maya thanked the commander, but her expression remained wary. The Alliance will want a full explanation of this incident. Of course, Commander Thalira agreed. As specified in our treaty, the Vashtari Collective acts with transparency in joint security operations. She turned to Nalira. You have served well. Liaison. Your stratagem was effective. Olivia stared at Nalira, feeling betrayed. We shared quarters. She thought we almost became friends, and it was all just a mission to her. As if sensing her thoughts, Nalira approached Olivia, while the others discussed the prisoners. Engineer Porter, she said softly, my presence on the horizon served multiple purposes, but my interactions with you were not part of any stratagem. What am I supposed to believe? Olivia asked bitterly. That while you were using the ship as pirate bait, you just happened to develop a genuine interest in human friendship. The Vashtari do not lie, Nalira stated. I found our cultural exchange valuable on a personal level. My species values genuine connection above all else. Olivia wasn't ready to forgive so easily. You should have warned us. Perhaps, Nalira acknowledged. But would your captain have agreed to such a plan? No. Olivia admitted. We wouldn't deliberately put the ship at risk. The outcome justified the approach. Commander Thalira interjected, joining their conversation. The pirate threat is eliminated. Your ship is secure. The alliance between our peoples is strengthened. She turned to Nalira. The Collective Council requests your presence aboard the Starsong for debriefing. Nalira nodded. I will gather my belongings. She looked at Olivia one last time. I would like to continue our cultural exchange if you are willing. The shared quarters experiment need not end. 3 days passed before Olivia saw Nalira again. The horizon remained in orbit around the neutral planetoid Kelos 7th, while repairs continued. Alliance officials arrived to interview the crew about the pirate attack and to inspect the captured vessel. Captain Foster had recovered from the sleeping agent and resumed command, though relations with the Vashtari had become noticeably cooler. Olivia threw herself into repair work, avoiding the diplomatic areas of the ship where Nalira would likely be found. She felt conflicted, angry about the deception, yet missing the alien woman's presence in their shared quarters. She was replacing damaged circuitry in the mess hall when Lieutenant Maya found her. "The Vashtari want you," she said. Her tone made it clear she shared Olivia's resentment. "Their liaison specifically requested your assistance with something technical. I'm busy," Olivia replied. Not looking up from her work, Captain says. "It's important." Maya sighed, apparently not happy to be the messenger. "Something about the pirate technology. They need an engineer who understands both systems." The captain figured since you've been rooming with one of them. "Fine." Olivia cut her off, closing her toolkit. "Where?" "The Vashtari vessel," Maya replied. "Shuttle Bay 3 in 30 minutes. Wear your dress uniform. Dress uniform." Olivia groaned, but she complied. Returning to her quarters to change, the room felt emptier without Nalira's strange objects and subtle presence. The shuttle to the Vashtari ship Starsong was a sleek vessel that seemed to shimmer as it moved through space. Inside it was lit with the same soft bioluminescence that Nalira could produce, making Olivia wonder if the technology was somehow biological in nature. Commander Thalira greeted her when she arrived aboard the Starsong. The Vashtari leader was imposing in formal attire, her head ridges adorned with complex metallic decorations that seemed to flow like liquid engineer porter. She said with a formal bow, "Thank you for coming. Liaison Nalira speaks highly of your technical abilities." "Where is she?" Olivia asked, looking around the alien ship with professional curiosity, despite her personal feelings, examining the pirate vessel. Commander Thalira explained, leading Olivia through corridors that seemed to pulse with subtle energy. "She requested your assistance specifically." They entered what appeared to be a docking bay, where a dark, angular ship was secured. The pirate vessel looked primitive compared to the Vashtari technology, yet Olivia could see elements that had clearly been stolen and modified. Nalira emerged from an access hatch in the pirate's ship, her eyes brightening to that gold color Olivia had come to recognize as pleasure when she spotted the human engineer Porter. She greeted, coming forward. "I appreciate your willingness to assist." "Captain's orders," Olivia replied coolly. "What's the problem?" If Nalira was hurt by her tone, she didn't show it. "The pirates modified Vashtari phase technology to create weapons capable of penetrating Alliance shields. We need to understand how they achieved this. Without proper safeguards, similar modifications could threaten other Alliance vessels." "Makes sense," Olivia admitted, following Nalira into the captured ship. The interior was cramped and utilitarian, a stark contrast to both the Horizon and the Starsong. "The central weapons system is here." Nalira indicated a modified control panel. "This is Vashtari technology, but the interface is crude human design." The pirates combined both approaches, creating something neither of our species would have developed independently. Olivia examined the system with professional interest, despite herself. The integration was clever, if inelegant, human components, connected to Vashtari technology with jury-rigged adapters and crude power management. The pirates had created a functional hybrid, but at the cost of efficiency and safety. "There's your problem." She pointed to a series of connections they bypassed, all the safety limiters. "Your phase technology operates at much higher energy levels than our systems can typically handle. They basically removed the throttle and hoped the engine wouldn't explode." Nalira studied the connection. "Ingenious, if reckless. Vashtari technology is designed with multiple safeguards. We would never consider such an approach. Humans are good at finding shortcuts." Olivia replied, working to disconnect the dangerous modifications. "Sometimes that's an advantage. Sometimes it creates pirates." They worked in silence for a while, Olivia mapping the human components while Nalira documented the modified Vashtari technology. The awkwardness between them gradually faded, replaced by the familiar rhythm of technical collaboration. "Why did you request me specifically?" Olivia asked finally. "There are better engineers on the horizon." Nalira looked up, her eyes shifting to that thoughtful indigo shade. "You understand both me and the technology. You are not afraid to question my assumptions. That perspective is valuable." "I don't understand you," Olivia countered. "You use the ship as bait, put everyone at risk. I calculated the probability of serious harm at less than 7%. Nalira replied. I would not have proceeded otherwise. The Vashtari, Value Life Engineer Porter. All life. 7% isn't zero. Olivia pointed out. Nalira tilted her head. The concept of absolute certainty is a human preoccupation. The universe operates on probability, not certainty. I made the best decision with the information available. A concept occurred to Olivia. Is that why you were willing to share quarters with me? An experiment with an acceptable risk, something flickered across Nalira's features, an expression Olivia couldn't interpret. I requested shared accommodation, she admitted. The cultural exchange program was genuine, but I specifically asked to room with an engineer, someone who would understand Vashtari technology if necessary, so it was all strategic. Olivia said bitterly, not entirely. Nalira moved closer, her voice dropping. The collective council believed placing a Vashtari among humans would create tension. My request to share living space was considered unusual. I argued that true understanding requires proximity. You didn't answer my question, Olivia pressed. Was our friendship just part of your mission? Nalira was silent for a moment, her eyes shifting through several colors, before settling on a deep violet, a shade Olivia hadn't seen before. The mission parameters did not include Friendship Engineer Porter. That was unexpected before Olivia could respond. Commander Thalira appeared at the entrance to the pirate ship. The Alliance delegation requests your presence, Liaison Nalira, she announced. The treaty amendments are ready. For review, Nalira acknowledged the order with a formal gesture. We will continue this work later, she told Olivia. Please document your findings for both our peoples, left alone in the pirate vessel. Olivia continued her examination of the hybrid technology. Her thoughts kept returning to Nalira. Was the alien capable of genuine friendship, or was everything just calculation and strategy? She wanted to believe their connection had been real. Several hours later, she had compiled a comprehensive report on the modified weapons system. The technical work helped clear her mind. The pirates had been clever, but careless. Their modifications would have eventually destroyed their own ship if they had continued using the unstable technology. When she emerged from the pirate vessel, the docking bay was empty except for a single Vashtari technician who directed her to a meeting room where Alliance and Vashtari officials were gathered. Captain Foster nodded to her as she entered, looking tired but relieved. The pirate threat had been neutralized and the diplomatic incident managed. The meeting concluded shortly after her arrival. The Alliance delegation prepared to return to the horizon. Olivia looked for Nalira, but didn't see her among the Vashtari representatives. Her absence felt significant somehow. Captain Foster briefed the returning team as they boarded the shuttle. The treaty amendments include enhanced security protocols and technology sharing agreements, he explained, specifically focusing on defense systems. The Vashtari have agreed to provide shield modifications to all Alliance vessels to protect against similar pirate attacks. And what do we provide in return? Olivia asked suspiciously. Cultural exchange programs, Foster replied with a pointed look at Olivia. More shared quarters, more cross-training. The Vashtari seem particularly interested in understanding human problem-solving approaches. Great, Olivia muttered. More alien roommates. Not for you, Engineer Porter, the captain said, unless you volunteer. The liaison specifically requested to continue your arrangement when she returns to the horizon. Nalira is coming back, Olivia asked, surprised. Tomorrow, Foster confirmed. The Vashtari considered the exchange program a success, despite the complications. They specifically cited your working relationship as a model back in her quarters. Olivia found herself straightening up the space. Nalira's side had been empty for days, but now she found herself preparing for the aliens' return. Her anger had faded, replaced by confusion and a reluctant anticipation. A small package sat on her bunk, wrapped in a shimmering material she recognized as Vashtari. The note attached was written in precise English. Engineer, Porter. This is a Kethril, a memory keeper I mentioned before. It contains impressions from our shared experiences. The Vashtari do not lie, but we do not always share complete truth. This contains my truth. Nalira Olivia unwrapped the gift, finding the strange metallic cube that had been in their quarters. It pulsed with a soft light, seeming to respond to her touch. When she held it in both hands, it grew warm, and she felt a strange sensation. Memories, but not her own emotional impressions, flowing into her mind. Surprise at the human engineer's practicality, admiration for creative problem-solving, concern during the pirate attack. Fear not for herself, but for Olivia, regret at the necessary deception. Hope for continued. 6 months passed aboard the Horizon. The ship continued its patrol along the Alliance border, its mission now including regular diplomatic exchanges with Vashtari vessels. The pirate incident had accelerated relations between the two species. Though caution remained on both sides, Olivia and Nalira settled into a new routine. Their shared quarters became a model for the cultural exchange program, with other crew members occasionally visiting to learn about Vashtari customs. Chief Engineer Martinez had even requested Nalira provide workshops on energy efficiency techniques. The ridges on my head, Nalira explained one evening as they sat together after their shifts, connect directly to my central nervous system. The metal caps you see are not decorations but communication amplifiers. They help focus our natural telepathic abilities. Olivia nodded, studying the delicate metalwork with new appreciation. So you really can read minds. Only surface thoughts and only with physical contact. Nalira clarified. The Vashtari consider uninvited mental connection deeply offensive. It would be like entering your quarters without permission, but you could do it if you wanted. Olivia pressed, curious despite herself. Nalira made the soft humming sound that Olivia had learned was equivalent to a sigh. You humans are consistently fascinated by the same questions. Yes, I could, but I would not. It would violate our most sacred principles. Olivia held up her hands in surrender. Just curious. Nalira had become more open about Vashtari biology and culture since the pirate incident, but some topics still made her uncomfortable. The alien tilted her head regarding Olivia with that now familiar look of scientific curiosity. Why do humans value privacy, yet constantly seek connection? It seems contradictory. That's us. Olivia laughed, contradictory to the core. She had grown used to Nalira's direct questions. I think we want to choose when we're connected. When it's forced, we resist. When it's offered, we embrace it. An interesting perspective. Nalira mused, her eyes shifting to that thoughtful indigo. The Vashtari evolved as a communal species. Our early ancestors shared neural connections. We developed individuality later than humans did. Perhaps that explains the difference. Their philosophical discussion was interrupted by an alert on Olivia's communicator. She checked the message and frowned. Problem: Martinez needs me in engineering. We're approaching the Kalari Nebula, and the sensors are acting up again. The radiation interferes with our detection systems. I will accompany you, Nalira offered, standing. The nebula's properties are similar to conditions on the Vashtari homeworld. I may be able to assist. They walked together through the ships, corridors no longer drawing curious stares from the crew. The sight of a human and Vashtari working together had become commonplace. The Horizon itself had changed subtly over the months, with Vashtari technology integrated into key systems and cultural exchanges influencing everything from the mess hall menu to recreational activities. The nebula loomed large on the view screens as they entered engineering. A vast cloud of purples and blues, its beauty concealed dangerous radiation and unpredictable magnetic fields that could damage unprotected vessels. The sensors are giving contradictory readings, Martinez explained as they arrived. Something in there is generating an unusual energy signature, but we can't pin it down. Nalira studied. The sensor displays her head ridges glowing faintly as she concentrated. This pattern is familiar, she said after a moment. It resembles Vashtari propulsion technology, but distorted pirates again. Olivia asked, remembering their previous encounter. Perhaps, Nalira replied. But the signature is larger than any pirate vessel we encountered. Martinez ordered additional scans focusing on the area. Nalira indicated The results were troubling. There's something big in there, he reported. But it's shielded somehow, hiding in the radiation. The size suggests a capital ship may be bigger. The captain needs to know about this, Olivia said, already reaching for her communicator before she could make the call. The ship lurched violently, warning klaxons blaring throughout. The vessel multiple energy signatures detected. Martinez shouted, reading the emergency display. They're emerging from the nebula. 507 vessels. The view screen showed dark shapes materializing from the colorful gases. Ships unlike any Olivia had seen before. Their design seemed to incorporate elements of both human and Vashtari technology, but twisted into something predatory. Those aren't pirates, Nalira said, her voice suddenly tight with tension. Those are Kithrai vessels. Kithrai, Olivia, had never heard the term ancient enemies of my people, Nalira explained. They disappeared centuries ago. We believed they had left this sector of space. The comm system activated with the captain's voice. All hands battle stations. This is not a drill. Defensive positions. Nalira grabbed Olivia's arm, her eyes now a color the human had never seen before, a deep crimson with black flecks. I must contact the collective, she said urgently. If the Kithrai have returned, it changes everything. The ship rocked. Again as the first weapon's impact struck their shields. Martinez shouted orders as engineering crew scrambled to maintain power systems. Olivia instinctively moved to her station, but Nalira held her back. You don't understand, she insisted. The Kithrai do not seek conquest or resources. They consume technology, integrating it into themselves. They will absorb both our species' advances, if we engage them directly. What are you saying? We should run? Olivia asked incredulously. Yes, Nalira stated flatly. The horizon cannot withstand a Kithrai attack. The Alliance must be warned. The collective must be notified. The treaty between our peoples just became far more important. Another impact rocked the ship, more violent than the last. The lights flickered as backup systems engaged shields at 60%. Martinez reported, weapons are having minimal effect. Their technology is adapting to our attack patterns. We need to reach the communications array. Nalira said the ship's standard transmitters lack the range to contact my people. I can modify them, but I need access. Olivia made a quick decision. Follow me, she said, grabbing her toolkit. There's a maintenance shaft that leads directly to communications. They left engineering as chaos erupted around them. The Horizon's crew responded with disciplined efficiency, but Olivia could sense their fear. These unknown vessels were unlike anything they had trained for. The maintenance tunnel was familiar territory. Now they had used it during the pirate attack months earlier. As they crawled through the narrow space, Nalira explained more about the threat. The Kithrai were once like the Vashtari, she said, her voice echoing in the confined space. But they chose a different evolutionary path, merging with their technology until the distinction between biological and mechanical became meaningless. They see other species as resources, technologies to be harvested. How do you fight them? Olivia asked. The Vashtari developed specialized weapons, Nalira replied, but they are not aboard this vessel. The Alliance is unprepared for this threat. They reached the communications array to find it damaged but functional. Nalira immediately began modifications using components from her personal communicator and tools from Olivia's kit. I need to boost the signal strength. Nalira explained, working with quick, precise movements. I must reach the Vashtari fleet in the Malkori system. The ship shuddered continuously now as the attack intensified. Through the small viewport near the communications array, Olivia could see the Horizon firing desperately at the circling Kithrai vessels. Their shields flashed with each hit but showed no signs of weakening. Hurry, Olivia urged. The communication system came to life with a surge of power. Nalira input a complex sequence, her fingers moving faster than Olivia could follow. The console hummed with energy as the modified signal projected outward. Message sent, Nalira confirmed. But I do not know if it will reach them in time. The internal communication system activated. Abandoned ship. This is Captain Foster. Abandoned ship. All personnel to escape pods. The Horizon cannot be saved. I repeat, abandoned ship. Olivia's heart sank. The horizon had been her home for years now. It would be lost. We need to go, she said, tugging at Nalira's arm. The alien hesitated. I must ensure the Kithrai cannot extract Alliance communication protocols from this system. She began entering commands into the console, initiating what looked like a purge sequence. A violent explosion rocked the section, knocking both of them off their feet. The lights failed, plunging them into darkness. Emergency lighting activated moments later, revealing a breach in the outer hull. Only the emergency force field prevented depressurization. We have to reach the escape pods. Olivia insisted, helping Nalira to her feet. The alien nodded completion. The data is secure. They cannot use it to locate other Alliance vessels. They made their way through damaged corridors, passing crew members running toward escape pod sections. The ship listed heavily to one side, artificial gravity fluctuating with each new impact. The nearest escape pod section was sealed off by collapsed bulkheads, forcing them to detour. Olivia led the way, drawing on her knowledge of the ship's layout. They passed through the mess hall, now abandoned trays of food scattered across the floor. Evidence of the sudden attack. Another explosion larger than before threw them against a wall. Nalira shielded Olivia with her body as debris rained down around them. The ship's structural integrity was failing. Engineering is gone. Olivia's communicator crackled with Martinez's voice. Main reactor containment breach in 5 minutes. Get off the ship now. They reached the last escape pod section, finding only one pod remaining. Several injured crew members waited desperately.